He dead. Dead.
Hostiles dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
I got a monster box, where the fuck that is.
We're going to pull you faster to make up for it.
UAV is being fuel. RTV at this time.
Confirmed. We've located the rest of them. Getting another chance. The rest of that squad on your attack map. Get hunting.
Got right here.
Yep. I'm going up the stairs to kill that guy.
Broken.
He's downstairs. I don't even know where he is.
I need high count rounds.
Yeah, I think he's up here. He's over here. Yeah, right here too.
There's one resing up here. I can see it. Let's go.
Over here. Over here. Broke him. Broke him.
I don't even know why the other dude left.
Oh yeah.
Lay down. Time for that. Lay down.
Earned it.
Getting shot from the right too.
What the fuck?
Your squad mates back on station. Good work.
Wow.
Oh my green.
Alright.
You have reinforcements inbound. You got a loadout drop inbound.
See, my shit's still there. Wow, what a pussy, bro.
Damn.
It's just hard that time. But we
You know, that's
Get up
it.
here and lay down now. Go lay down. Now.
Stop paying attention to who is dead and who's alive. I called this stream short. Dude, these are gonna be some short streams probably until MW3 drops. Because this is just... I just want some movement. Might as well just switch to Apex until MW3 drops. I didn't buy the controller for fucking nothing, bro. Didn't buy a pallet controller for nothing. Feel like I did though. Because now I'm getting punished for fucking moving. People just sit and get rewarded for it.
You know, when I was young, I used to think about, I guess my big thing that I wanted when I was young, that rich people seem to have porches. They had a porch on their house. And you'd see somebody with that big porch. And a porch, it was like, oh, you got outside? Yeah. Oh, you got inside, but you got it outside. Like, damn, y'all must be doing well if you have an inside that is outside. And if you saw somebody with a porch, and sometimes they had furniture out there, you'd even see like during a party or something, put a television out there and watch the games. And when I was young, that was my big thing. And I pictured a wife, and I would have a wife, you know, or it could have been a husband with long hair, but I think, you know, my visions weren't super clear, but it seems like a wife. You gotta quit smoking because otherwise, you know, I don't know what happens. It's bad. I smoked ever since I was a kid. I always remember smoking, you know. One time I remember as a little boy, I was 8 or 10 or 12 or 14 or some even number there between 3 and 16. And I was behind my garage. I was sneaking a cigarette behind my garage. I'll never forget it. My dad showed up. His big head appeared from around the corner of the garage. I'll never forget it. I may forget it someday. Who the hell knows?
Probably laughing because of the way it's his garage.
It was my dad's big head. And then his body, right after it. There was his body. Why don't you hop off for me, Park? Play Call of Duty 2? I was number 2 in the world on PlayStation 3, and then Modern Warfare 3, I was number 3 in the world. Have you heard the new kind?
Probably have to open it first.
A big bull like...
I cannot.
I made this sculpted cabinet by gluing together around 300 or so blocks of black walnut, but I'm embarrassed to say when I got it all together there was a number of small gaps between some of those blocks, and so this is how I'm going to fill them. I had some of these wedge-shaped offcuts from some of the pieces I cut earlier, and I just added a little bit of wood glue and tapped them in there until they were tight. And if you want a bone...
I cannot tell.
I made this sculpted cabinet by gluing together around 300 or so blocks of black walnut, but I'm embarrassed to say when I got it all together there was a number of small gaps between some of those blocks, and so this is how I'm going to fill them. I had some of these wedge-shaped offcuts from some of the pieces I cut earlier, and I just added a little bit of wood glue and tapped them in there until they were tight. And if you want a bonus trick to doing this is add a little bit of wood dust to it, because this one was a long, probably my worst gap of the whole project, but adding a little bit of wood dust will help fill in those micro imperfections. I like to come back with a flush cut saw, trim them up, use my sander, and you can see there actually looks pretty good, but you can slightly see where those wedges are if you
Looks
really
like wood
know where to
putty.
look. This is the one that made me really nervous, because this was going to be the most obvious if it didn't turn out well. And again, using my flush cut saw, you can see some of that wood dust there. Use my hand plane and then my sander.
I think I said that when I watched it originally. Oh, okay. Makes sense. I'm on my account. That's why I was like looking at myself live. It's weird. It's a reaction channel now. Just kidding. I don't know. Just fucking chilling. Budget famous mini PC max 10.
When Fanless Tech posted about this silent mini PC, it caught my interest. When I saw the brand name, I was sold. How can you go wrong with a max tag? Clearly short for Max No Poo Tag. Finally, a budget fanless mini that's made from metal, with a name to match. This tang sure is solid and comes with dual LAN ports, so you can double It features an Intel L-Card J6412 Celeron CPU, which is 1M.2 SATA SSD. I bought the bare bones, but there are pre-built options available. Inside the box, you'll find an HDMI cable, a 40-watt power supply, rubber feet ×2. Definitely noticed the performance improvement over the GK50 during my testing. This translates to a 23% improvement when encoding a video. The tag also has a 37% high performance score in 3D Mark DX11 and 35% in DX12. So, it's on YouTube. 33 frames were dropped out of 10,194, which, while not perfect, I think is okay. At 1440p 60 FPS, 18 frames out of 10,200 were dropped. Again, not perfect, but a very small amount. The Maxtang NX6412 does draw a little more power. It's just under 10 watts idle and maxed out at 26 watts, which is also higher than the GK50. Temperature and performance loss over long periods of high load. For those in the market for a silent mini PC with dual LAN, I would definitely choose this over the Minis Forum GK50.
It's a really tiny computer, dude. It's awesome. You did it today, holy shit. The hell? How long's it been since they dropped one of these?
High school reunion tour, Warren G, Snoop Dogg, let's fucking turn it in. Hell yeah, all these people fucking high as shit.
I always believe the man who been a long time in the band, man. Stay up, stay doing your thing, man.
Stop playing with what I'm saying.
I'm tryna do a good, throw it back at me. I can't be pulling up to everywhere these niggas be. They be tryna watch, gotta switch, ain't no tracking me. If they see me with it, they be tryna fuck after me. Pussy nigga mad, but he used to be a fan of me, okay. Not for a nigga, I ain't mad. Say you tryna stay, tryna break your legs, switch your man, okay. Baby, I'ma tell her up, I'm serving weed in the streets with a cop for the kids.
Right there. Hear that? They gon' suck. I wanna feel it. That's how you get them wet.
This is an AK-47, or more correctly in this case, an AKM. One of the world's most popular semi-automatic or automatic rifles. This is a Remington 870. This is a pump-action shotgun, obviously functioning with a pump. Suppressor, optional. Now the real question is, what would happen if you
It's
took
an expensive ass suppressor for a shotgun, bro. It's probably like a $7,000 suppressor.
Well, you'd get this, the Romanian PAR-1, or the PAR-1, if you're acronymophobic. Bigot. This is a pump-action AK, and today we're going to talk about exactly what the hell this thing is, and why it's not technically cursed. Of course, before we do that, you know that we need to do a shooting montage, because around here, that's par for the course.
That's some,
I'm a dad, I know.
That's weird, bro. Pump action AK, what the fuck is that? Is it shoot 7.62 or is it 5.56?
We're gonna talk. Get this, the Romanian PAR-1, or the PAR-1, if you're acronymophobic. Bigot. This is a pump-action AK, and today we're going to talk about exactly what the hell this thing is. Alright, now I'm really done. Ladies, gentlemen, or let's
looks
face
like
it.
a Chamber
Gentlemen,
5.56.
this right here is the PAR-1. As you can tell, this is pretty much just your standard AK, but with one really weird twist. Twist, or, you know, pump. Twist it. Pull it. Shoot it.
Kill it. Squeeze it. I can't squeeze it. I can't squeeze it.
Other than that, you may recognize pretty much every other part of this gun. It takes AK, furniture, well, at least,
7.62.
not the handguard that obviously has something in the way there. The stock, pistol grip, the fire control group, the receiver, magazine, everything. This is just your standard AK. It's even still chambered in 7.62 by 39 millimeter, meaning it can take standard
I didn't think it was.
magazines. This one being 29 rounds because we're good little cuck boys for YouTube. Isn't that right, Susan? I know it's not Susan anymore. It's still a funny joke. Nobody fucking knows the other guy. Sorry, nothing personal. Like, just seriously, I don't even know. Anyhow, this sucker is even built on... Fucking stinky. Speaking of stinky, this ammo reeks. This is definitely corrosive. My spam folder is flooded in oddly frantic propositions to review some of the strangest consumer electronics you could possibly imagine. A few months ago, I strapped on my snorkel and dove right in. I ended up with robots, wallets, and actual diamonds, and while it was a total blast ripping them to shreds, the sheer variety made the video kind of chaotic. So I'm doing it again, but this time, I'm gonna do it smart. Smart sensors, smart screens, smart screwdrivers. I'm reviewing every smart device that lands in my email, and by smart, I mean crammed to the gills with excess electronics you could rip right out and the product would probably work even better. It's like how the electronics on my face make people think I'm smart. Then my workshop flooded, and it was an entire thing. I made this whole video about it, but the review requests kept on coming, and I kept agreeing, though I will admit I may have kind of stopped reading exactly what I was agreeing to. So imagine my surprise when I receive a 4-foot tall printer, 7 pounds of encrypted 3D filament, and an entire bicycle. And that was just the beginning. 10 products, no mercy. Welcome to Voidstar Lab. Here's the rules. I haven't been paid to feature any of this, I don't sign anything, and the brands don't get to see the video 1 minute before you do. I expect every item to do something useful, do it effortlessly well, and do it at an exceptional value. That doesn't mean I'm expecting a bargain. Things can be expensive, but they better be worth it, and if they're cheap, those corners better be cut real tastefully. If any competitor is strictly better, I award the poodle of product pointlessness, cause why buy a worse product? This used to be the poop of product pointlessness, but it just felt too shitty. If the product is strictly better than every competitor, I award the chef's kiss of categorical conquest. Cause why buy a worse product? Everything else gets a medal of mediocrity, the grade of which is foretold in the dregs of my McNulty's Darjeeling Supreme. Since today's products are loaded with gimmicky smart crap, I will also hand out gimmicky smart grades. I was given all these products for free, so bear in mind my opinions are hopelessly compromised. We're going to start off today with a 1000-watt death machine, but first, another smart thing I love. You. At least after you try today's sponsor, Brilliant.org. To make yourself smart. It's called brand integration. I don't know about you, but if I have to learn something by watching lectures, memorizing formulas, grinding homework, it's just not gonna happen. If that sounds like you should know you're not dumb. You just need a smarter approach. Brilliant.org is a new way to learn science, tech, engineering, and math. Instead of starting with theory, this 75-pound cardboard monolith contains the Polarna M6 Pro e-bike, an ominous battery-powered vehicle packing a 1-kilowatt motor, at least on paper. Said paper flips between English and English so abruptly they probably fire the copywriter halfway through the job, and is clearly meant for a different product because assembling this contraption was just inserting the handlebars, unfolding the joints, and latching it all into place. The fork and frame fold in half so you can like shove it in a car, I guess? It just feels wrong to shove a vehicle in another vehicle. It's like that scene in Roger Rabbit where the cab is driving another cab. The M6 Pro's ginormous tires and doofy hydraulics make it look bust. But then you notice the safety switch / battery lock on the underside of the frame, which leaves your keys awkwardly dangling but apparently prevents meth heads from ejecting your lipos. And where do meth heads actually sell all the catalytic converters and balls of wire? Meth master car? Turn the key, push the button, hit the road, and everything goes absolutely apeshit. The M6 is a pedal assist, so you get going and it says, I've noticed you've been riding for 27 milliseconds, yet you're not moving lethally fast. Allow me. And you explode down the road. The Polarna M6's motor has 5 speeds, and the lowest is 15 miles an hour.
That's really fast. There's no halfway either. It's either off or hi-ho silver away! The M6 does have a throttle lever, but that too seems to ignore every position between 0 and the corner will need a jackhammer to pry that GoPro out of your sternum. This thing just constantly feels one sharp turn away from flinging me over the bars like a huge...
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna watch that anymore. Probably wouldn't be able to handle a Sauron very well.
Today we will do some work on the lathe and the milling machine, and combine things that really should not be together. I also have made some interesting purchases for the new lathe, and I will tell you a little about this as well. Welcome to the W&M channel. I have this camera for certain tasks, and quite frankly, it's so-so, but today I decide to mess with it. And I also have this old, huge, heavy lens, called Variacom Lomo 201. Its mount has already been altered for the 42nd thread. It is really heavy because almost all of it's made of metal. On the internet, there is only one photo where it is attached to a camera, and honestly, I do not envy that camera guy. It's just the lens is this heavy, I can imagine how much the camera itself weighs. Unfortunately, with its impressive size, it was designed for only 16mm film, and therefore cannot cover most modern camera matrices. However, I do have this Zenit with a 42 ring thread as well.
Wow. I don't understand that at all. This I might watch.
I believe we will be the first to game on a development kit. Words cannot express how excited I am right now. I've completely sequestered myself. I haven't looked at any other coverage, I haven't looked at any pictures, and I have not yet opened this box. But inside here is an Xbox Series X. Totally normal, except for the fact that it has 40 gigabytes of RAM, extra buttons on the front, an OLED display, and it looks absolutely nothing like the Xbox on the shelf at Best Buy. That's because this Xbox is not for playing games, it's for developing them. And because these dev kits, as they're called, are the property of Microsoft, very few of them make it out into the wild. Microsoft, by the way, I know this is technically stolen property. We good? Just give me a call, I'll have it back to you right away, but I do need to play with it for a little bit first. And play, I actually may. Now, Gamers Nexus recently also got their hands on a Series X dev kit, but they weren't able to actually run any software on it. As for ours, we believe it may still be in working order, but all of this raises quite a few questions. Why do these kits exist? How the heck has everyone been getting their hands on these lately? Why does it look so different? And, of course, who is today's sponsor? Humble Bundle. That's right, we're partnering with Humble Bundle to support Lifelights and the BC Children's... What is going on right now? Okay, we need to get this going here. I know absolutely nothing about this, other than that it's a dev kit, and dev kits are a thing. I can't believe it has a 10 gig network port. Why is it labeled debug? I guess if they wanted to know what the actual hardware capabilities are when downloading files at like future network speeds or something like that. Based on the history of this device that we got from our seller, we're pretty sure that aside from them and our logistics team, who had to inventory this bad boy, we're the first ones to really unpack everything and power this thing on. A small studio went under, and a few of these special development kits ended up sitting in a warehouse somewhere. They got access, picked one up, posted it to Reddit, and the rest is history. We ended up paying somewhere in the neighborhood of around $2,000 US. Thank you very much, seller, who posted a price and then turned it into a bidding war. We're very happy we have it because opportunities to get your hands on a codename Scarlet development kit are not going to come around very often. I mean, outside of developers, nobody should ever see this. And yet, here we are. These are features that most people really wouldn't need. Don't give them too much information. I mean, the last thing you want is the exact details leaking, and I guarantee you that part of the legal agreement you have to sign to get one of these says you do not open it up. Stack up to 5 XDKs vertically. Yeah, for them, that would be a pretty big deal, I guess. You know, you gotta pack in your playtesters. Why else would I need to stack Xboxes? Tell me, come on. Come.
Pretty much one QA person might have something like 4 Xbox 4 kits at their desk,
right?
And they're gonna stack them to save space.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you're gonna have racks that are running automation and stuff like that. And usually you can get away with having each one on an individual rack. That's the ideal, but sometimes you stack them up a little bit.
That is something like this.
Lots of stuff. I put it all in the script, but
plausible deniability right here. I don't actually know what the buttons do.
I know what the buttons.
But here's my concept.
They can be programmed.
They can be programmed,
so they can do whatever you want. You would show something like animation states, nav mesh that's on the ground, so that you can see like, oh, there's a level here.
There's a hole that they could fall through, or
they could fall through, or look, why aren't the enemies moving around? Oh, there's no nav mesh.
Oh, so cool.
So you can turn on nav mesh, so that you
cheat buttons.
Kind of. These are probably more like turn on FPS, turn on Geo, turn on like stuff like that. Yeah.
So you want like a quick store button, you can be like press number 5 and it'll take you to the store. It's whatever the programmers want to do, right? So, and then give the tools to QA so that they can QA faster.
Programmable OLED display, and I can see right here it's showing SSD speed and FPS. Man, especially now that we know that Xbox is more of an ecosystem and less of an individual device, and they intend for games to run on multiple tiers of the hardware. Like, if I wanted to upsell better Xboxes, enable freaking FPS counters, you buttheads! Why do I have to explain why this is a good idea? Front-facing USB 3.1 Gen 1, so you can just connect all the controllers with a wire. So Microsoft knows it's convenient, they just don't care. What that tells you is that the SoC has this functionality. It is definitely in there. They did not respin it and remove USB-C from it. So it's got a total of 6 USB ports, 4 Type A, 2 Type C, and Microsoft removed them. It has a higher speed development SSD. It's like, it's some of the coolest stuff, whether you're Sony or you're Microsoft or whatever, it's some of the coolest stuff they make because it's the cutting edge. Hey, look at this giant foot.
I know.
That's not a foot, that's a
see the
whole
clearance?
freaking...
So you can stack them no problem. Like all this fan here, and all the vents are on the side. We actually had a retail kit like catch fire at one point because it was stacked. Because the old Xboxes, they had the vents on the top, right? On the one side.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about unoptimized builds. That would be why it has 40 gigs of GDDR6 memory.
Pretty much, but this one's a little out of the ordinary because normally, so for example with Scorpio, the dev kit had double the memory, 12 gig kit, and then the Scorpio had 24. So they just doubled it. With this, Series X